Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick. Don't worry, I'm not done with the June set reviews yet, but I have other commitments too, and in the meantime, I don't want to leave you here without a LEGO video, so please welcome the next episode of my Rebrickable series. This one has an interesting story, as the other day I checked the availability and price of the printed wheels from the 10350 Williams F1 set on Bricklink. Yes, they are still quite expensive if you want to know. It is still a better choice in my opinion to buy the whole set for the wheels. I then went to Rebrickable to see if there were any cool new MOCs using these wheels, and unsurprisingly, there are a few mods of the official Icons classic F1 cars and also some other custom F1 builds, but from a similar era, with two exceptions. One is also a Formula 1 car, but from 2025, this is the latest Ferrari, the SF-25. The other is a classic, but a completely different one, the Hemi Cuda in black. And as you can see, both were designed by gnat.bricks. If you recognize the name, you've already seen his very cool 12-stud white custom builds on the channel. But what about the prints on these wheels? The Cuda might have racing tires, but it definitely doesn't match the SF-25. As you know, the narrower wheel is available without print, as it was used on Senna's McLaren, but the wider rear one only exists with prints. Well, there's still a solution to achieve this look, and this one too. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, first I need to show you the builds. These are completely custom designs. You can use the Icons Camaro to collect a certain amount of parts for the Cuda, but you will have to buy the rest separately. Both are paid premium instructions on Rebrickable, you get high quality PDFs, and the designer has a little surprise for you that I will share at the end of the video. Let's start with the Ferrari. These are the stickers. Yes, this is an F1 car, so we have a lot. They are on transparent background and made by Forward Sticker as usual. The link can be found below. This is the base, nothing special so far. Time to apply the first stickers of many. I'm not a big fan of stickers spread over multiple parts by the way, but either this or we have cut lines like on the official sets. A bit of studied and studless technique was used to have this angled beam here. The engine and the rear axle are already in place, with some pretty cool build solutions. The front axle is also installed, we have functional steering, nice. The steering wheel is an interesting combination of, well, two LEGO steering wheels. The range of movement is limited, but it works. The front suspension got a few extra parts, and the first red pieces also appeared, including the rearview mirrors. The front wing is a fairly complex assembly that requires a whole range of stickers, but the part usage is also very creative. Here is the last assembly of the nose cone, looks very impressive. Another nice building trick with those hook pieces. They need a bit of adjusting, but if you get the position right, you end up with a nice and sturdy angled assembly. Once both sides are built, we can attach them to the main build. I didn't know what these phone handsets were going to do at first, but then I figured out it really fits. This is a neat trick to hold the two halves together. Another controller goes on top, which is the camera pod. The halo is made of 3 claw pieces. This assembly has a similar structure to the one in front of it, it will cover the engine. We are almost at the end, added the diffuser, now comes the rear wing, and now it's time to check those wheels. So, you know these wheels from the Williams with all the prints and stuff. According to the instructions, we have to get rid of them before we can apply the stickers as they are on a transparent background. So, there are two methods suggested. The first is to paint over the print, and the second is to erase the print. I'm going to go for the latter as I've done this before with normal LEGO pieces and it worked well for me. As you see, it also works on the tires. I use a regular eraser I stole from my daughter's desk. It takes about 2 minutes to completely remove the print from a tire. Here are all 4 wheels, and here are 2 with the stickers attached. According to the instructions, for the best result it is advisable to use a hairdryer to ensure perfect adhesion. I can't see much difference in the end, maybe the edges are less visible, but they look pretty good. Time to put them on the car with the wheel covers, and we are done. Now we can build the Hemi Cuda. Here is the chassis. As you can see, you should not expect many different colors in this build. This strange part is used both here and here, I don't see it very often. We have these big blasters as exhausts, and then comes this assembly that will be angled. At first I thought the connection was very weak with these 2 studs only, but you need to find the right position for the clips to attach to those dark grey parts I mentioned before. Now it's much better, and it's a pretty cool solution. Here is the first wheel arch from the Camaro, the assembly fits well here. I added 2 angled C-pillars, and apparently this is the rear seat, not the previous assembly. Not sure if you can see anything though, the black on black design doesn't help. Front seats are added, also the handbrake, shifter and the steering wheel. Here is the front axle with functional steering. The underside of the front section is built upside down and it is attached with clips. This is a neat trick to reverse the build direction above and then add 2 slightly angled bumper sections. The doors have some nice detail on the inside. The windscreen assembly also has the dashboard. I like the creative use of printed tiles for the gauges. And finally some colors. This is our cool looking V8. The grille and headlights also have some neat building solutions. Front fenders are finished. Now comes the roof with a few extra pieces and then the hood. The rear window assembly also uses clips for those tricky pieces, and here's an unusual part usage for the rear lights. The trunk lid has double hinges for proper positioning, and after a few more parts we just need to fit the wheels. So this car needs 4 of the narrow F1 tires by default, which means a couple of things. You can either use the printed version from the Williams, but then it will look like a race car. You can choose the unprinted tires from the McLaren, which are also much cheaper to buy at the moment. Or you can remove the Eagle label and you will end up with some nice Goodyear slicks. And as if that wasn't enough, I will show you an extra trick that's not described in the instructions. You can also fit the wider rear tires for an even more aggressive look. I think they are fantastic. So, here are the 2 builds together. They are very different cars in real life, but great looking and fun builds in LEGO form, another cool duo from gnat.bricks. The F1 car doesn't have many functions other than steering, it's a nice display piece with many details. There are a couple of areas where you need to pay attention, but as I said, it is really for display. The Cuda has opening doors, trunk and hood and working steering. The only downside for me here is the fact that the doors open easily. Maybe I used some old hinges. I did complain a bit about the black on black design during the build, but the end result was worth it and you can also build it in a friendlier color combination. The F1 car clearly shows what LEGO could release if they didn't force their various themes into strict categories. Currently only Technic and Speed champions have modern cars, Icons is limited to the classics. Too bad, imagine a few official releases with this level of detail and of course a lot of printed parts. You can find the links below to both instructions and the designer was kind enough to offer you a 30% discount. The coupon code can also be found in the description and in the pinned comment. It is valid for 1 week after the publication of the video. Please let me know folks what you think of these cars. If you want to build them, let's talk about them in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications as there will be more exciting LEGO videos coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.